name is Maggie from Willow's Green Permaculture. I hope everyone is fine. So today I have a special guest, but I don't only have one guest, but I have two guests. So first guest is Sam. Sam, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Sam Robertson. I'm the head chef at the Meadows. It's a wedding catering venue, and we also have started up our own private catering business called Two Cooks Garden.
Okay, great, Sam. But Two Cooks Garden, but it's only one cook? Where is the other cook?
Hi, I'm Lisa Wilson. I'm the other cook in Two Cooks Garden. We both work at the Meadows. I'm the sous chef there. And then we do all sorts of private catering, small and big events.
And you're a couple, you cook together. And when did you start to cook, Sam and Lisa?
I've been probably cooking for about 15 years now or so.
Wow.
Mostly when I started eating really vegetarian and vegan, and then learning all about that and cooking in those kinds of restaurants.
Yeah, that's great.
I've been cooking about 30 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to school for cooking and fell in love with it, to be honest with you. I went to start and I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, but I knew I needed, after high school, to do a job, and yeah, I fell in love with it. It's great.
And me, I'm very happy to receive them because I always dreamed to be a chef, but I know it's not easy. So really, I have a big admiration for you two both, okay? And so, Sam, what you will going to cook for us today?
I'm going to make a hot and sour soup. I remember having hot and sour soup in Chinese restaurants growing up and really enjoying it. This isn't necessarily authentic, but it has very similar flavors, and I've used a lot of what we had growing in our garden or in our pantry already to try and sort of make a late winter, early spring version with things you might have around the house.
Yeah, I know exactly what you are talking about. And Lisa, you're going to cook something sweet for us. So what it is?
I'm making a coconut chocolate tart. So gluten-free, vegan, soy-free, nut-free, all that good stuff. It's still really delicious.
Okay, so great. So I hope everyone will enjoy that. So I'm going to cook his soup for us.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I'm going to make a version of a hot and sour soup. I made it with ingredients that you might have around in your kitchen if you grow a lot of your own vegetables. We're going to start by putting a little bit of ghee into a hot pot. We're going to get that going. You could certainly use vegetable oil if that's what you have around. I wouldn't use olive oil. I think it's a little too fruity, a little too assertive. We'll put in about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Get that going. Then let that heat up a little bit. Now I'm going to put in some carrot and some onion that I've cut up. You could use, you don't have to use carrots by any stretch. I always like using onions and garlic to start things going. This soup's great because you can kind of put whatever you want into it. I'm making a vegetarian version with the ghee, but if you wanted to, obviously you could use oil and just make it vegan. You could also use bacon fat if you really wanted to, if that's something you had around. We're going to put that in there, let that cook a little bit. I love this soup because it takes on a bunch of different things. It's got that spiciness, which I love, but you can change the level of spiciness in it, which is really nice. You can adjust the level of salt in it. Really tailor it to your own taste. This is just a bit of a framework for you to work within. You could add shrimp to this. You could add chicken to this. It traditionally has tofu in it, which I love in this dish. And you can use the different types of tofu. You could use silken tofu. You could use what people call regular tofu. And it all really adds to the dish. It's almost stew-like to me, which I really like. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic scapes into this. This is something we had frozen from last year in our freezer. We took it out maybe a few days ago. So I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of garlic scapes into that and cook that off. Just let everything get nice and soft. We don't want to overcook it. We don't want to caramelize anything here. We're just looking to cook things down a little bit and develop into a bit of a broth for our soup. You can see everything's getting a little bit softer there, which is nice. And keep cooking that a little bit. want to cook those onions out a little bit more. Next, I'm going to add some, we grew some butternut squash, so I'm going to add some squash in there. You could use sweet potato instead if you liked. You could use other vegetables. You could use red peppers. Next, this is some pureed tomatoes that we canned up ourselves. You could use a tomato puree. You might want to use a little bit less because it would be a little bit thicker. You could take a can of whole tomatoes if you want to and just dice them up nice and fine and then add them. It definitely adds body to the soup, but I also find it gives it a really nice color when it's done. I'm going to add some water as well. So that was between 1.5 cups and 2 cups of water. We're going to add the same amount, it was the same amount of tomatoes that we're going to have in that. Next, I'm going to season it with, I'm going to use a little bit of organic soy sauce. Put some of that in there. That's going to obviously be our salt factor. You don't want to add too much. 2 to 3 tablespoons will be plenty. Some vinegar. I've got organic cider vinegar. You can certainly use plain white vinegar. You could use red wine vinegar, might be nice. Maybe white wine vinegar. I definitely prefer using cider vinegar. It's something that I think adds a little bit more flavor than white vinegar. And again, it's got a little sweetness, a little fruitiness. So we're just going to put in about 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters of vinegar there. And this is, I've called it cayenne, but it's actually not cayenne pepper exclusively. It was some hot peppers we grew at our house, and we dried them, and then I ground them down into this powder. If you don't like spicy foods, you certainly don't have to use this. It just wouldn't be hot and sour soup. It would just be maybe sweet and sour soup. But I'm just going to put a little bit of this in and put in as much as you think would be nice for you. I'm putting in approximately half a teaspoon. And that'll just give us some nice heat in that. You can always add more later too. If you're not sure how much chilies or hot sauce, you can use hot sauce instead if that's what you had around. You can always add more later, which is great with spicing things up. You don't want to ruin the soup for yourself and have it inedible. So remember, you can always add a little more later. Okay, so now, to me, one of the fun parts is I've got about a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and I've added about a 1/4 cup of water. Once this gets, I like to mix it with my hands because it's got this really funky texture. So yeah, we make sure that all dissolves in there. And now that our soup is boiling a little bit, we're just going to slowly pour that in. That's fine. Just you can add a touch more water to it or broth, and then taste it again and see. Maybe you might need to add a little bit more soy sauce, perhaps a little bit more chilies. But don't stress over it. Cooking should be fun. It's something we're doing to nourish ourselves. It should be enjoyable. We don't want to stress too much. Hi, so the soup has been finished. We've cooked it out. I did adjust the seasoning a little bit. I found it actually needed a little bit more soy sauce, a little bit more vinegar, and a little bit more chili for how I like it. Don't be afraid. That's the fun thing about certain dishes. You should be able to play with them. You can always add a little bit more, right? You can never take away. That was something I was taught years ago. And here we go. And then I like a little bit of green onion on top. It gives it a bit of color and of course flavor. Lisa, you want to come in here and try this bowl? See what you think, please.
Thank you so much.
My
I'm
pleasure.
going to take the pot. This is so good. It seems that I am in a very chic Asiatic restaurant.
It's such a wonderful dish, and you can play around with it so much.
Wow.
Whatever vegetables you like, corn or peas or red peppers or so many things you can put in it, you know, whatever you like really.
It's one of those great nourishing soups when you feel like you have nothing at home and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, you know, you've got a great meal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, when it's a little bit cold outside and you want something warm, you know, it's really good. It's perfect. The sweet and sour, the salt, everything, it's perfect. Thank you so much, Sam. Bye-bye.